of all, even look at our spending culture. It's not as according to the constitution. Look at the spending culture the country is running in. It's not anywhere in that constitution. So if we can curb things like the spending, if we can curb accountability, whereby, and real accountability, whereby it doesn't matter if you're a leader or not, if you're charged, you're charged. You step down, go and deal accountably. If you're found not guilty, come back. If you are, go to jail, do your time. Let them even spend money to build prisons, real prisons, that can house quote-unquote machiniers instead of them going to, what do you call it?
But
actually, the first handshake was between Raila and Moi. That was the first handshake that led to so many other handshakes after that. Until
because even when Raila ditched Moi, he went and did a handshake with Kibaki and created what was the name? NAC.
Yeah, and created NAC, National Alliance Rainbow Coalition.
And where is it?
Hizo zilipotea.
NAC was swallowed up.
No, zilipotea hizo.
It was an agreement, right?
NAC sasa walishinda kura. Vile walishinda kura wakafanya kazi
walifika hata miaka miwili. I don't think they even got to 2 years.
By year 1 they were fighting. By year 2 they broke up when it came to the adapting a new constitution.
Yes.
So we had to go to a referendum, and hapo sasa ndo ODM ikazaliwa.
Yeah.
So ODM ikachukua KANU alafu huyu akatengeneza PNU. So PNU is what later morphed into Jubilee. Kibaki. That's what later morphed into Jubilee, but ODM.
But Jubilee umeenda mbali. Kumbuka kulikuwa na TNA.
PNU ili morph into TNA.
In summary, kizungu mingi, and that means absolutely nothing.
Ya kwanza ni
yes.
To do what?
So inasema
kizungu mingi kama moja.
It means nothing. Inasema it will ease political tensions.
How?
Foster national unity and address Kenya's most pressing social and political challenges.
Yes.
At the very surface level, that's what this memorandum is supposed to be bringing.
Interesting, it is not addressed. So social challenges considered financial.
Like you remember, Kenyans over the years have been accustomed to political handshakes. Parties have become a temporary tool to win the next election. Of course, tonight we want to dissect another major political shift. We know that ODM leader Raila Odinga signed a pact to work with President William Ruto in what's commonly referred to as a memorandum of understanding. We'll discuss the major points brought up and what possible outcome this will bring to Kenya's political future. We'll also talk about the possible impact on the outcome of the 2027 elections, if we're going to have one, and we'll break down the NADCO report. How will this impact Kenyans living in the diaspora? Is there a plan to extend President Ruto's current term to beyond 2027? Kuna watu wanasema, or even abolish term limits altogether. These are the things that we are talking about. And then Afro-Jamaica anasema ni sao Kenyans in Canada. Yes, this also includes Kenyans in Canada. Okay, so thank you so much. Tell all the Kenyans in Canada to tune in. So these are the conversations that we're going to be having tonight. You know, I'm not going to say it was a bombshell revelation. It's something that has been coming, that has slowly been cooking. And I'm going to start right here in the studio with DJ Omoshfire, who's in the building. Just give us your first impressions on the announcement that was made today. Omoshfire.
Asante sana. Thank you, Ali. Let me see. Can I hear myself? Asante. Asante. Okay. Yeah. I sounded artificial to myself. I don't know why, but okay, sawa, no problem.
Omosh GPT.
Okay, well, I'll get back to you, Ali. You know, it's Ramadan. I can't get on your case until how many days do I have to go? 20.
We have until the end of this month.
Okay.
So we have a long way to go.
All right. So it's looking like 27 days. Mimi na wewe. Okay, sawa. 23 days, actually, not 27, 23 days. So welcome to the show. Ali, you asked me what my first impressions were. I think I had what we would term as a soft landing, because we kind of had ramblings of something in the woodworks, and things were coming out from, I would venture to say, credible sources. So it was a secret, but it was an open secret. And I think it was just a matter of when were they going to sign this agreement, and what the contexts or contents of this agreement are going to be. Some may say that Baba sold out. Others may say that, well, those books that are written by our authors, what is it? My Life in Crime, Sijui, blah, blah, blah. The one that comes to mind is It's My Turn to Eat. Somebody might say that It's My Turn to Eat has now come to fruition. Or somebody else might say, well, we knew this was coming all along, because now if you go back in history, there's been handshakes or some sort of governmental involvement since with Raila, since he came out of prison after the 82 coup.
Okay, yes, that's a long time.
Pretty much. I mean, all those presidents have benefited off of his political wisdom or his savviness, if that's what you want to call it. And some folks may look at it and say, well, he's not done anything for the country. It has not been good. I still stand by the fact that that handshake, had it not come, we'd be looking at a totally different Kenya now. But anyway, and for me, it would have been a negative Kenya we'd be looking at had that handshake between Ruto and Rao not happened. To me, it also seems like at the end of the day, it's like Ruto didn't even have a plan.
What do you mean by Ruto didn't have a plan?
His plan, it seemingly looks like his plan had to include Rao in it. Last Ivio, he's screwed.
Now, it's interesting, that you see it that way. But I think this was, Ruto is a long-term politician. He had a number of cards, like close to his chest.
Okay.
And he had to pull the jokers early. I think this was a joker.
So are you saying that he was overtaken by events and he had to use this card because... So, okay, let's go back.
Yeah.
And say, go back 3 weeks. Rao gets the AU Commission chair. Then which card do you pull?
So
Ruto.
So I'm going back to the Gen Z revolution, because that's
okay, I get you.
That's where the genesis of this started.
All right, okay.
Because even that idea of Rao coming out and defending Ruto, that was a joker, that he pulled out early.
No, that one was I think that I'd even ventured to call it
maybe an A.
Those cards. In fact, I hate to use the name Trump card because we used to play with those decks of cards for cars, and there used to be a card in there that if you removed that card, yani you have trumped everybody.
Yes.
And so we used to call it a Trump card.
A Trump
because
card, yeah.
that is actual English. But now we can't even use that word. So yeah, you're right. I guess so. It's a joker. It's a what is it? Is it called when you have a full deck of cards in poker or whatever? A flush, a royal flush.
It's I know the Kenyan poker. I don't know this poker. E poker ya sijui kucheza na chips.
Okay, so
that one I don't know.
So unajua,
I know ile pick 3.
Okay, so unajua zile
Kadi. That's the one that I know. Yeah, that's a poker that I know.
Okay, so hii ni mtu amepewa joka mbili. Alafu akapewa 3 na 2 na kuna jump mbili na kickback ikarudi tena na kaongeza kadi zingine juu.
Okay.
Kwa sababu ule mse yuko next ndiye anapick.
Ndo anapick.
Yes.
Okay.
That's what this is.
Okay.
And some folks may say, oh no, not necessarily, and this is that, blah blah. But it to me, this is so now that our political earthquake has been shooken, or we've had this shake, and now things are about to start happening. Now what?
Okay. All right. Keep that thought. We're gonna come back to you. I'm gonna come to Mika, but before I go to Mika, a couple of comments were coming in on Facebook. I can see Esther Mulusa today is on, or rather on YouTube. Esther Mulusa today is on YouTube. She says, all the way in the dirty South, Greensboro, North Carolina. Karibu sana Esther. And then Mairimu End says, salamu kutoka Kosti ya Magharibi ya Marekani. Kosti ya magharibi.
Yes.
I think hapo anamaanisha pwani ya magharibi. Okay, haya sawa. Costi. Okay, a new word.
Tunaita kutohoa.
Kutohoa, inaitwa utohozi hiyo hapo.
So is that Florida?
Coast ya magharibi. West Coast.
Arizona, California.
Yeah. Florida ni kusini.
Okay.
Yeah.
So magharibi is what?
Magharibi is west.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm helping Slay. She knows I'm helping her.
Okay.
She knows that I'm helping her.
Okay.
Thank you on her behalf.
She may not acknowledge, but she knows I'm helping her.
All right. And then hapa Wairimo N pia anasema Ali and all Ramadan Mubarak. Asante sana Wairimo N. Ramadan Karim. Thank you so much. And then hapa Pan-African anasema Ruto seems kind of stressed. And funny thing, the crowd at KICC yelling Wongo while WSR spoke. So very interesting point. Pan-African, tell us more about that, because I did not watch the crowd, but I just watched the speeches, all the speeches by the people who spoke there.
I never watched. I actually have fatigue.
No, I actually did watch.
You know that voters fatigue that we had.
Yes,
it's like
it's kicking in again.
This campaign has never ended.
It's never ended. And then Afro-Jamaican is telling us about Kenyan Association. Afro-Jamaican, tell us more about the Canadian Association in Tanzania.
Afro-Jamaican, I thought he had he's come back to being a Kenyan. I'm just asking for a friend, because at one point he had said he was a.
We'll get to that.
Equatorial Guinea. Is that where he said he was from?
Yes,
we will. Still Afro, so Afro Jamaica. He wasn't Kenyan Jamaica. It was
no.
Jamaica.
As far we had already claimed him. We had even given him goats, a couple of cows here, and there were sheep that were coming. You know, the ones that were taken from somebody's farm. The ones that were going to be sold.
Mbona unasoma maoni ya One Mic? Sijui iko cost ya wapi.
Sawa. Wacha nione One Mic, mbona sijaona comment yake hapa. One Mic anasemaje?
One Mic anasema tuko ndani kama sim card.
Yuko wapi? Yuko YouTube.
He's inside a phone.
Okay,
he's inside a phone.
Okay.
and he's a SIM card in the phone.
And then up from Texas, Sambaza says, what happened to the people from Northeastern who shifted camp? I don't know. I think maybe they might still be there.
They're coming. After they get their IDs, they'll be fine.
Okay. And then Stephen JJ nauliza kwani time ili change. I don't know exactly. I think Stephen JJ is living in a different time zone in his mind.
Maybe he's asking about the time change tonight.
Time change.
Sorry, not tonight. Tomorrow night.
Sunday. Yeah.
Yeah, after 2 a.m.
Saturday,
which we won't have 2 a.m. There'll be no 2 a.m. on Sunday. Check with Mika.
Sawa. Let's go to Mika.
1 a.m.
Yeah, let's go to Mika and let's get Mika's first impressions on this announcement that has now been formalized. It has been an open secret, but it has now been formalized. Mika, twende kazi.
Shikamoo. Habari zenu.
Marhaba.
Anyway, ngoja kwanza Ali Eid Mubarak.
Eid Mubarak. My goodness.
Saumu makbul. Ngangana na pole kwa Saumu.
Asante sana. Wewe uko ahead. You are ahead of the time.
He was already on Eid.
He was already on Eid.
Ni huyu jamaa ndo ameniharibia hapa mbele yangu. Ameharibu Kiswahili, anasema sisi magharibi ni Saudi. Ndio akanitupa hata.
No, but surely. How am I getting attacked after somebody doesn't know the difference between Eid and Ramadan? Even me I know.
Wewe Eid na Ramadan unaweza confuse, zote ni takatifu. Wewe una confuse direction. Angalia.
Mika. Wow. Unaanza at 100 miles per hour.
He has come, he's firing not even from his hip.
But anyway, going back to this whole handshake, MOU, whatever it is. I know Moshe amejaribu kupaka baba hapo sabuni akamwoshe, but still
with power form.
Let's be honest.
You have to.
It's all these are selfish moves. All these are social moves. In fact, in a point whereby, as much as they want to say that they want to come back and say that they're going to ask the implementation of the NADCO agreement, and remember the NADCO agreement was basically going to audit the election results, which I don't know how that audit is going to be audited right now if both of them are in the government. Right? So how do you hold up? How do you audit a farm? You say the accountant is stealing, then you go and join him and you become his deputy accountant, and then you want to audit. That audit is not going to be done in the right way. Implementation of IEBC.
Yes.
puts a lot of them on the block of recalls.
Correct.
That is both ODM and UDA, which I don't see them doing it. And as soon as they do it, it's going to be, all in all instead of trying to, we're going to break down the NADCO report to Coletta. All I'm trying to say is this. I do not believe in a way of whereby, yes, I understand when people were protesting the finance bill, the rift between Ruto and Gachagua is when it was exposed, and that is where maybe Ruto would have had some of his powers clipped. And this was an argument between two thieves. They just didn't agree on how to steal. Now they were fighting.
Was it how to steal?
And now Baba went and became a ref in between the two thieves, so that to save this one of them from kicking out the other from the pot, and now the one that he saved kicked the one that was causing issues later on. So when we say that there was a coup that was going to happen in that case, there was no coup that was going to happen. The only thing that could have led, based on the constitution, we would have gone for another election. The only thing that Baba helped was help keep Ruto in power again.
Now, we are in very interesting times.
Sure.
One thing that is clear before we go into the details of what the memorandum was about and what was in the NADCO report, something that's very clear. The hardcore ODM coalition that has been there, and when I mean the hardcore coalition, these are people who've been there from, like year in, year out.
From 2005.
From 2005, when we had that first
referendum.
Banana Orange.
2000, was it? Yeah.
It was 2005, the Banana Orange referendum, which is exactly 20 years. Yeah. That coalition, and here I'm speaking as someone who was part of that. That coalition has cracked. And the faster Baba realizes it, the better it will be for him. When I say the core group, there's always been another group that has been coming in and going out in every election, but there's been a consistent core group that has always been there. Now, the danger that I am announcing today is that core group has cracked. Of course, Baba will still maintain a semblance of support in Luo Nyanza, but even within Luo Nyanza, you can already see some fatigue and some exhaustion with what's happening. Right now, it's a bit difficult to tell. I think the moment when we'll start having a crystal clear picture where things are heading is once IBC is put together and once these pending by-elections go into effect. In fact, there was that member of parliament from, was he from Trans Nzoia, the one who passed away recently. I don't remember exactly what county he's from, but these are the by-elections that are gonna reveal peupe na peusi, mbivu na mbichi. This is where people are gonna know, because until now, all that's there is hubris of we have the numbers, we have the people, our principals have signed an agreement, but people still don't know where the political temperature is. The other thing that I'm announcing today, unofficially, is that this is where the Gen Z revolution has kind of been, its effect has kind of been muted. And I'm saying this from a very somber place. I'm saying this from a very somber place. This now officially, it's gone. And the reason I say that is because you've seen the personalities who were the faces of that that revolution, that movement. Some of them, but some major ones, they've already, aligned themselves with political formations. Samuel Makore has gone to ODM. We saw Morara Kebaso has gone to the Gachagua side. He has his own party, but he's gone to the Gachagua side. He was even taking pictures with him, and was also
Morara.
Morara Kebaso.
Your friend.
Yes,
Has
your
his
friend.
own party.
Remember, he has to inject.
Yes,
Okay.
he's already had a handshake.
They're going to make a coalition. Bandio.
So one with Martha Karua, and then
Karua.
also with Gachagua.
Okay.
Yeah, because Gachagua is forming a party in the next week. In the next week or two, Gachagua is going to form a party, and that party is going to be funded by Uhuru. It's Gachagua and Uhuru who are going to be the main leaders of that party.
Okay.
Inaitwaje ile chama ya Uhuru hii ya juzi, the one that is Uhuru's, what's the name of Uhuru's party?
Jubilee.
No.
Jubilee.
Jubilee.
Jubilee is going to be taken. Yeah, Jubilee is going to be put to be made irrelevant. So basically, people are strategically placing themselves to form coalitions, and those coalitions, as Alia said, they're going to come out in these elections right now. The elections that are coming in. Ali.
Okay, asante sana Mika. Let's go to super producer Mubelwa Bandio, who's been following things happening in Kenya. Things moving thick and fast.
Has been following the presidential elections in uko pwani ya magharibi, uko Bongo.
Okay. Wait, Bongo iko na pwani ya magharibi. Let's start from there.
No.
Okay, sawa. I was just taking to confirm.
Hakuna nini simko na Lake Victoria.
Yeah, haina pwani magharibi.
Lakini si pwani.
That's northwest, right? Yeah, si pwani,
yeah,
si
but
coast, but at least in the beach.
Yeah. Kwa hivyo hata Bongo, we don't even talk about pwani ya mashariki because pwani ni hiyo moja tu ya mashariki. Yes. Kwa hivyo ni pwani. Anyway, Bandio, like from the other side, umekuwa ukitizama, like what's been happening in Kenya na nini, and this year is an election year in Tanzania. We were discussing before the show.
Who knew? Because in Kenya is where we have elections right
now. Any neutral observer would think that this is an election year in Kenya, but kina Bandio in Tanzania, they're having an election this year.
They're very organized. I mean, you either wear green and yellow or green and yellow.
Yeah, I don't know about being organized.
I don't know about being organized. Yeah, but Bandio, from where you sit, what's, like you've been following this Kenyan politics with us for a very long time from the outside. Does it surprise you ama ni kitu ya kawaida sasa umekuja kuona na siasa ya Kenya ukilinganisha na Tanzania?
No, it doesn't surprise me at all. You know, I think Kenyans love politics. They play a lot of politics. And I these political parties, I don't even know how many. I tend to see the coalitions and this person is joining with this person, But I think the way these politicians are playing with people's mind, especially in Kenya, it's sad, And I wonder what it will take for them to fix the issue. But it's a lot of let's move from here to another. It's just like from another monster to another. One monster dies, another
musical
one comes
alive. Musical chairs, chessboards,
which is bad. I cannot imagine. I don't know. I don't hear vision. I don't hear somebody say, this is what I felt. You hear them just triggering emotions and stuff just to get the votes.
Kabisa.
And that's what I've been hearing for years. It's like, let's do this, let's unite. Let's take this person out. I follow Gachagua, hizo speeches zake. Lakini kama your number one goal ni kumtoa rais.
Yes.
And all this time nimekusikia unasema unataka kumtoa rais and you haven't mentioned one thing you want to do to replace him with. I'm one of those people who believe when you pray, you better be, ready to receive whatever's coming out of that prayer, right? And don't say this is bad if you don't have another alternative. So, ni kwamba tutatoa raisi, which sina shida. But then replace with what? So that's why we are where we are right now with politics ya nchi zetu. Unamuondoa mmoja, you trigger emotions, na mfano mzuri sasa hivi ni Marekani. Waliondoa watu could drive to emotions. I'd rather do this, hasira asara, that's what happened.
Yeah.
Na nakwambia kwamba, hasira zinaondoa busara.
Trump will make eggs cheaper.
Yes.
Yeah.
And here where we are. Lakini siasa za Kenya unfortunately zimekuwa sana kwenye hisia kuliko uhalisia.
Kabisa.
Zimekuwa sana kwenye kutengana ama kukusanyana makundi madogo kuliko kitu kikubwa, and to me that's pretty sad.
Here's the interesting thing. Nikitizama siasa ya Tanzania, there always used to be this comparison that Tanzania imekuwa na chama kimoja tangu uhuru, and there's this thing that Kenyans have always had, that we are better off because we have many parties and we've had different we've had leaders from different political parties. But when you look at the grander scheme of things, Sasa, now with the benefit of hindsight, I think we had one amazing multi-party election when, like in 2002 when Kibaki won. But besides that,
the unblockable one.
Yeah, the unblockable one. Besides that, we've been experiencing L's in all elections.
At least year 2002 was the beginning of coalitions, and that election period, not just the voting, but from campaigning to that. That was the beginning of handshakes.
Yes, actually, the first handshake was between Raila and Moi. That was the first handshake that led to so many other handshakes after that. Until
because even when Raila ditched Moi, he went and did a handshake with Kibaki and created what was the name? NAC.
Yeah, and created NAC, National Alliance Rainbow Coalition.
And where is it?
Hizo zilipotea.
NAC was swallowed up.
No, zilipotea hizo.
NAC sasa,
it was an agreement, right?
NAC sasa walishinda kura. Vile walishinda kura wakafanya kazi
walifika hata miaka miwili. I don't think they even got to 2 years.
By year 1 they were fighting. By year 2 they broke up when it came to the adopting a new constitution.
Yes.
So we had to go to a referendum, and hapo sasa ndo ODM ikazaliwa.
Yeah.
So ODM ikachukua KANU alafu huyu akatengeneza PNU. So PNU is what later morphed into Jubilee. Kibaki. That's what later morphed into Jubilee, but ODM.
No, but Jubilee umeenda mbali. Kumbuka kulikuwa na TNA.
PNU ili morph into TNA.
Yeah, kulikuwa na TNA. Alafu kumbuka hata kabla ya UDA kulikuwa na URP. There was a party called URP.
Yes, UDA was.
Yeah, because TNA merged with URP to form Jubilee. TNA ilikuwa ya Uhuru. The National Alliance.
Okay.
Ilikuwa ni Uhuru, alafu URP ilikuwa ni ya Ruto.
Yule light skin wa Musumba, what was his name?
Light skin yupi hapo?
Peter Kenneth.
Oh, Peter Kenneth.
He had a party.
Peter Kenneth, hiyo party yake ilikuwa inaitwaje?
Party yake was part of
Eagle, ilikuwa inaitwa Eagle Alliance. It was Eagle Alliance? It was followed by Jubilee.
It was followed by Jubilee, it was followed by TNA, Jubilee, yes.
Jubilee. Yeah, it was swallowed. Because yeye pamoja na Raphael Tuju, because Tuju, I think Tuju pia alikuwa na party yake, and then they got together. Raphael Tuju na Peter Kenneth. But it did not quite work. And then of course kuna other smaller parties like kina Alfred Mutua, Maendeleo chap.
Ngoja niulize. Unafikiri new constitution ndio imeleta hizi shida? Unafikiri ilikuwa ni mwanya, ni kosa, ni something that was missed kwenye new constitution? Because
so hizi shida bandio zimekuja kabla ya new constitution, kwa sababu new constitution ni 2010.
Okay.
Hizi problems zimeanza kutoka 2003. Yeah. Kwa hivyo new constitution is not the problem.
Maybe I could fix them.
So actually the new constitution imwazuia kufanya vitu mingi sana.
Okay.
Yeah, tukikuwa na ile katiba ya kitambo. Tukikuwa tumerudi one party state kitambo sana. So new constitution has really held them, and that is why unaona saa hii wanajaribu kukuwa na numbers, watry kupush referendums and trying to put to make changes on the constitution. The good thing is even the new constitution has a clear clause over there. If you need to change anything here, it needs to go to the vote for the people.
Kuna Gerald Oliachuka anasoma, anaweka maoni.
Gerald anasema, how many Kenyans even understand what the impact of everything since former DP to AU elections to this handshake is costing Kenyans. And then anasema Rao to Moi to Kibaki to UK to now Ruto. And then anasema PK party was Kenya National Congress. Kenya National Congress was the name.
KNC. Yeah, walikuwa wamechanganya TNA.
Yes,
KNC
was the name of the party. Alafu hapa YouTube pia let me see, there was Pan-African anasema the crowd at KCC definitely started yelling Mwongo every time Ruto finished a sentence. After some point midway in his speech he said tutatekeleza mipango ya ambayo itapatia vijana ajira. And then his father says Uhuru's TNA was run by Akina Sakaja and other very young guys. One a medical doctor, Boniface Chitai. Yeah, and now you're seeing now these people are the ones who are now governors, Kina Sakaja, and that's why we're having all these problems we do. You tuned into the One Mic Show. The number to call is 202-683-4570. Press *5 to speak. Please follow us on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. Like, subscribe, share, and put your comment down there. Also, let us know where you're tuned in from. We have quite a number of things we're going to be talking about today. We're going to be going through the NADCO report because the NADCO report was mentioned in that memorandum. A lot of people are asking, NADCO ni nani? What is NADCO? Who is NADCO? Huyu NADCO amefanya nini?
Demo fulani hapo matata.
Yes, so we'll be reviewing what's in that NADCO report, kama tuone kama ni vile Mika anasema, or if there's some other details there that we need to know about the NADCO report. But going back to the memorandum of understanding, it was a 10-point MOU that at a very top level said that it will ease political tensions, foster national unity, and addressed Kenya's most pressing social and political changes. In summary, kizungu mingi, and that means absolutely nothing.
Ya kwanza ni
yes.
To do what?
So inasema
kizungu mingi kama moja.
It means nothing. Inasema
Surely,
it will
Mika.
ease political tensions.
How?
Foster national unity and address Kenya's most pressing social and political challenges.
Yes.
At the very surface level, that's what this memorandum is supposed to be bringing.
Interesting, it is not addressed. So social challenges considered financial.
So let's go to some of the details of what it's supposed to do. They, of course, talk about the full implementation of the NADCO report, which we're going to go over. And then they talk about inclusivity in budgetary allocations and appointments. Whatever that means.
For who?
That's a big question.
Or for the two people in the party.
That's a big question.
Not the NADCO. NADCO was for the party. Okay, got
so
it.
the other issue that was also there in the on that memorandum of understanding is to protect devolution from who? That's a question. And then
should it have been protect or make sure or implement devolution?
They said protect devolution. So
protect because there was I think one of the things that Gachagua has been making noise about, and also one of the things that ODM was making noise about, was that funding to counties that were not friendly to the president were not getting all the funds they needed.
It was being held back. There was a go slow.
Yeah.
Okay. Understood.
Yeah. And then the national government would sometimes, like give the money, like when they want, whenever it's due, wanaweza kungoja mpaka 3 months. And again, number to call, 202-683-4570. Press *5 to speak. We're talking about the memorandum of understanding between President Ruto and Raila Odinga. And I think we have an early caller. I love these early callers.
Yes. And
yeah.
Number 1253. Hello.
Please tell us where you're calling from and your name.
Hey, this is Gerald Oviech calling from Texas.
Man, Texas in the building. I love early callers because people normally wait until it's due for what? Gerald, what part of Texas are you calling from?
Houston.
Okay. Talk to us. What are people in Houston saying, or what are you saying what do you feel from Houston regarding the events that happened today? Gerald.
Me personally, I'm not shocked. I'm not disappointed because realistically, everything we're watching is so either premeditated or predictable. Tell me what is new that they mentioned in that MOU they're talking about. Punguza ujinga, punguza, I don't know, poverty, sickness. The devolution, we're going to continue talking about it year in, year out, year in government, year in new government and stuff. So what can we really pinpoint there and say that these two leaders are literally coalitioning to do what? I mean, like right now, I really don't see what they put to the table that is literally fresh off the bakery, that when we slice this bread, it's still hot and it's going to give us slices. There's nothing new they've said to us. Even if you look at the Ruto's speech, the moment he stopped praising Raila and started about inclusivity of finances, corruption, evolution and health and all that. So where is the money? I mean, the corruption has been there. We know it has been there. There's nothing new that we're doing or they're bringing to us that's going to help us. Number two, I would say, I think we need to go back and realize that our constitution is so defunct with too many loopholes for these leaders to manipulate us. Because like right now, I may sound really pessimistic, but what is in our constitution that really upholds this handshake they have? Because that's going to create a supplementary budget that our country doesn't have to support whatever coalition this is, which I really don't know what it is. Where is the money coming from? As it is, just in the next 3 months, just look at what the GDP is going to be in Kenya, out of them walking out of that failed AU campaign plot. Where did that money come from? It was supplementary budget that was supposed to go to other things and projects into the country, but it went out of the country, supporting these MPs running around and everything. It failed. Now we're back home, forming a coalition. As in, I keep on wondering, why are Kenyans not seeing how we're going to be defunct in the next couple of years? From Gachagwa's ousting, that costed us, but we still don't see it. To now all this rhetoric and the coalition and having ODM people into the government, that is still costing us. Now this failed for AU thing is costing us. And this coalition is really going to cost us. So, and we're losing funding internationally because of our corruption, our abductions and stuff. And we want to bring in new leaders to help this country grow. In a failed constitution that we now don't even run for referendum, not referendum, amendment in that constitution, which was supposed to be ODM's main thing. Have that constitution amended so that we can literally curb everything that is in our country down. But we're still using the same old paper that has enough loopholes for all these parliamentarians and our leaders to do what they're doing. Lastly, again, you guys know me. I'm the one who comes with a helmet saying, why are we still trying to work with IBC, what we want to do in our country to bring in reform and change? Like right now, under this current coalition there is, by the time it comes to the point to have, the steering committee to start pushing, obviously, for the funding, the heads, the leader, the heads, and the management for IBC. Who's going to do that with no opposition there is in the country? Who's going to do that? So again, things are going to be rushed last minute, that we have to do this because we are there now. And then again, we get into the same rhetoric and everything. For me, I don't see what people were happy about. There's nothing new that is in that MOU. Please just look at from 2023 to now. Tell me what in that MOU that is different, and I stand to be corrected. And with that remarks, again, I say there's nothing we're talking about on those MOUs and stuff. My opinion.
You're listening to the One Mic Show, live from Kilimanjaro studio.
All right, asante sana, Gerald. You know, some very deep talking points. Before you go, I'm going to give you one quick minute just to tell us, so many people are angry, understandably so. Just within 1 minute, what can we do outside these traditional formations? Because we're also here complaining, but we are not necessarily organizing. What would you like to see from outside those coalitions as we approach 2027? Gerald, 1 minute.
I've said this enough times on the show. Can we stop being academic with our politics? As in, we try and run politics like it's literally taught in campus. We don't have academic politics in Kenya. As in, our politics in Kenya is just narcissistic, sorry to say, corruptive, pessimistic, and all this nepotism and everything. So look at even what is happening right now. There's nothing new that these guys are doing that's going to help the country other than themselves. And to, like, in my opinion right now, the president has just taken his enemy, put him close to him, whereby, so the enemy be happy, be funded, and your peeps are there in the government doing everything. So come elections, we're going to start saying that who signed up for the money to run AU? Who's running the money right now in Kenya? So it's going to be a political story about it was them who was running the money. It was them who issued the money. Yet the leaders are the ones who told their people to go do what they're doing. Number two, can we come to a place and realize if America, for the many years it has been established as a nation to what it is now, how many amendments do they have in their constitution that is so, quote-unquote, perfect that we are feeding off it? Why are we having issues not amending what is not right in our constitution to cover all this misuse, abuse, corruption, and everything? And I feel, in my opinion, that is the one loophole that they do not want covered, because once the constitution goes amended, there are so many things they will not be able to. In my opinion, let's rally up a million man march and supersede the million man march and go to 3 million march, whereby it doesn't matter whether they change the constitution or not. Even the international bodies will realize you guys had a 3 million man march fighting and arguing and supporting change of and amendments of your constitution, and you guys are not doing it. You know that that's what will do to Kenya, trade-wise, international-wise. So I think those are the things we should do to help our country steer forward and be a better place,
Gerald, before you leave,
country.
Before you leave, Bandio asked a very genuine question on what you just said. We march, we push out Ruto. What next? Who's going to take? There's going to be a vacuum of power.
Push off Ruto. We don't march to push off Ruto. We march for an amendment made to the changes of the constitution.
Okay. What amendments
before we deal with the politicians? The problem is we keep on running with the politicians, and the paper we have is going to support all the negative things they are doing.
Okay. But then what amendments would you recommend to be made in that constitution?
First of all, even look at our spending culture. It's not as according to the constitution. Look at the spending culture the country is running. It's not anywhere in that constitution. So if we can curb things like the spending, if we can curb accountability, whereby, and real accountability, whereby it doesn't matter if you're a leader or not, if you're charged, you're charged. You step down, go and deal accountably. If you're found not guilty, come back. If you are, go to jail, do your time. Let them even spend money to build prisons, real prisons, that can house, quote unquote, mashimiwas, instead of them going to, what do you call it?
But you do know, just like this country, just like this country here, right? There is no laws that curb on spending or anything. And even if you're prosecuted, and we are seeing it in America, we are seeing judges who are put in courts to push away certain cases that are against the Constitution. We are seeing illegality happening from the highest office in the country on some stuff that are being implemented. It's the same thing with Kenya. If you're corrupt, you're corrupt.
But it's measured.
How the Constitution is.
No,
so we can
let's be real.
We can do a referendum.
There's no country will curb corruption. There's no country that will curb corruption. But it can be mitigated in a point whereby the country still runs and the country still benefits. Our country is running. We're one of the few countries in the world. We're one of the few countries in the world that has got 5 porous borders. And look at the kind of debt we are in while we're still borrowing.
So is that more of a morality thing than a constitutional thing? Because I think at this point is us looking for leaders who are morally correct.
Okay, sawa. So I think this discussion.
You get leaders who are morally correct, but the paper will not support morality. You see, like, let me give an example where we are right now. The morality of this country, starting from the Amish, coming to the Indians, coming to even you, superseded the quote unquote the previous government. So it doesn't matter how the current president is morally right or not, but he has a moral fiber in him to know there's some things we cannot allow to run. That's what I'm talking about. This is a clear example. Doesn't mean that he's an angel.
Sawa, Gerald, asante sana.